Hi, sir.
Ang paraan para balansehin na ang warrant of arrest ay good grounds lamang para bigyan nga ng interim release ang mga nasasakdal rito. No? At meron namang mga president talaga na nabigyan na ang mga nasasakdal ng interim release at lumilipad lang sila sa dahig kung kinakailangan silang pumarap. So malungkot itong pangyayaring ito dahil unang-una, yung desisyon nila na pwede pa raw tumakas at pwede paghimasukan ni Tatay Digong ang prosecution nakabase sa ebidensya. Anong ebidensya? News reports. Sa Pilipinas, no-no yan.
Yung parang sinabi kanina, tinatanggap nila yung news reports and publications.
Sa Pilipinas, no-no yan. Hearsay yan. No? So hindi ko maintindihan bakit ganyan. No? At siyempre, masakit pakinggan bilang isang abogado na baliwala yung humanitarian plea. No? Hindi dapat ganun. Sometimes it's about law, but it's also about justice and about the call of humanity. Lamang sa isang mababaw na ebidensya na good grounds. Hindi po guys sa Pilipinas at sa Amerika na ang warrant of arrest ay issue only upon probable cause, no, na mas mataas na ebidensyang hinihingi. Now, para balansehin po yung sistema dito sa ICC na mababaw na ebidensya lang ang hinihingi bago makakuha ng warrant of arrest, binibigyan po ng karapatan talaga ang nasasakdal sa tinatawag na interim release. At itong interim release po ay nakabase nga doon sa unang-una, yung ebidensya laban sa nasasakdal, yung kung siya ay flight risk, kung siya ay may position pa o nasa posisyon para gumawa pa ng ibang krimen, at kung kaya niyang sumunod sa mga palantuntunan ng hukuman. So, nung naunang decision po ng pre-trial chamber, ang sabi ng hukuman, hindi daw pinatunayan ng depensa ng kampo ni Tatay Digong na hindi naman mabigat na ebidensya sa kanya. Sa akin, mali po yan. Kasi nakasaad naman talaga sa human rights law, kasama na dito sa ICC, na hindi trabaho yan ng depensa. Trabaho yan ng prosecution ay pakita na mabigat ang ebidensya laban sa nasasakdal. No? At dahil po dyan, tingin ko mali po yung naging desisyon na yan. Now, ang sabi rin ng hukuman, flight risk daw si Tatay Digong. Hindi ko po malaman kung paano maging flight risk ang isang 80 anyos na natutumba na paglalakad at medyo limot-limot na. No? Ang sinasabi nila, yung pagiging flight risk daw ay dahil sa mga salitang binanggit ni Inday Sara na itatakas si Tatay Digong. Pero sa katunayan, yan po isang biro na hindi naman dapat bigyan ng pansin kasi nakikita natin na hinaharap talaga ng pamilyang Duterte itong proseso sa ICC. Sa totoo lang, kung gusto nila magplano, matagal lang siguro nilang tinakas si Tatay Digong, pero si Tatay Digong po abogado, gaya rin ni Inday Sara, at ang plano po nila talaga ay harapin ang proseso. Now, sinasabi nila na meron daw pagkakataon pa gumawa ng krimen si Tatay Digong. Una-una, wala pa naman pong napapatunayang kasalanan na ginawa si Tatay Digong. So bakit nila sasabihin na yung pagiging influential ni Tatay Digong dahil siya ay alkade, si VP Sara ay vice president at si Baste ay mayor ng siyudad ng Davao ay dahilan para siya ay parehong makatakas at makagawa pa ng mga krimen. No? Wala pong basihan yan. Kasi unang-una po, wala pang krimen na napapatunayan. At pangalawa, ang importante ay, yun nga po, no? Yung pag-participate ng pamilyang Duterte sa ICC ay nagpapakita na rin respeto pa rin nila yung procedure at yung proseso sa ICC mismo. No? At walang basihan yung sinasabi nila na hindi haharapin ng pamilyang Duterte itong prosesong ito. Inaasahan po natin na kalahating oras hanggang 45 minutes ang pagbasa dahil yan po siguro ay 10 to 15 minutes na pagbabasa. So, inaasahan po natin na dahil ang Tatay Digong nga po unang-una ay matanda na at may karamdaman, magkakaroon din ng puso. No? Dahil alam niyo naman sa batas, it's not just about rules, it's also about compassion sometimes. No? And it's also about justice. No? So sometimes you come to court on an issue of law but you also want justice at dapat naman ikukonsidera ng hukuman yung kontekstong politikal kung bakit pinadala rito ng mga Marcoses ang Tatay Digong at yan ay dahil siya ay kalaban ng mga Marcoses. No? So malalaman po natin ngayon kung makakaroon ng panandaliang kalayaan si Tatay Digong. Kapag binigyan po ng kalayaan yan, ay tingin ko po sa Europa yan kasi ang Pilipinas naman po ay hindi na kasapi ng ICC at hindi papayagan ng mga Marcoses na makapunta sa Pilipinas si Tatay Digong para sa panandaliang release. Tignan natin dyan. So, narito na po tayo sa ICC. Ano pong ICC? At mahanap lang po tayo ng parking. At palalaman po natin kung ano ang magiging husga ng appellate chamber. Ang ICC po ibang klase rin kasi yung mga order ng pretrial chamber po pwede nang maapila. So isa po sa dalawang motion ang inaapilan ni Tatay Digong. Ito po yung para sa interim release at ang pangalawa naman po ay para sa dismissal based on lack of jurisdiction, no? At pareho pong importante. Itong panandaliang release ay magdedetermine kung patuloy na nakakulong sa Chevening Detention Facility si Tatay Digong or makakaroon ng parang house arrest sa isang bayan na dito sa Europa, no? At ang dismissal naman on the basis of lack of jurisdiction, yan naman ay permanent dismissal na, no? Wala na talagang kaso si Tatay Digong kung madi-dismiss yung jurisdiction. So, tingin ko mas mabigat talaga yung jurisdiction.
Article 51B
nagsisimula na po.
A chamber arrest of a person appears necessary. 1. To prevent a person from not appearing at trial. 2. To prevent a person from obstructing or endangering the investigation.
Pakinggan po natin ang binabasang verdict.
3. Where applicable, to prevent the person from continuing with the commission of that crime or a related crime which is within the jurisdiction of the court and which arises.
Na-discuss na po natin yan. No? Yan yung mga batayan kung mabibigyan ng panandaliang kalayaan.
In accordance with Article 60.2 of the statute, the person subjected to a warrant of arrest under Article 58 of the statute may apply for interim release pending trial. The Pretorial Chamber's ruling on such an application under Article 60.2 of the statute is provisional in nature, to the extent that it will be periodically reviewed at least every 120 days or at any time following a request by the detained person or the prosecutor, if satisfied that the circumstance so required. The Pretorial Chamber may modify its initial ruling on detention, pursuant Article 60.3 of the statute and Rule 118.2 of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence. Regarding the first ground of appeal and the question of whether the Pretorial Chamber erred in law by relying on hypothetical and non-specific risks to find that continued detention is warranted, the Appeals Chamber recalls that in determining whether the conditions pursuant Article 60.2 of the statute had been met, a chamber must find that detention appears necessary. In this context, the Appeals Chamber observes that a determination shall be made concerning the possibility and not the inevitability that one of
yan po yung unang basihan nila, no? Kung siya ay pwede tumakas, ang sinasabi ng hukuman. Hindi yung kung siya ay tatakas, kundi yung posibilidad na siya ay tatakas.
It is the responsibility of the relevant chamber to weigh the evidence before it pursuant to the relevant standard. The Appeals Chamber notes that in its assessment of risks under Article 58(1)(b) of the statute, the Pretorial Chamber relied on this legal standard. Indeed, the Pretorial Chamber correctly referred to the standard that the assessment under Article 58(1)(b) of the statute concerns the possibility, not the inevitability, of a future occurrence.
Sinasabi po ng appellate tribunal na tama daw yung ginawa ng Pretorial Chamber na ang basihan ay posibilidad ng pagtakas at hindi yung aktwal na pagtakas.
Accordingly, the defense has failed to demonstrate that the Pretorial Chamber misapprehended the legal standard relevant to the assessment of risks under Article 58(1)(b) of the statute. With regard to the pretrial chamber's assessment and weighing of evidence in assessing risks pursuant Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 2 of the statute, the appeals chamber notes that the pretrial chamber made reference to 5 documents, including media articles,
Lima daw yung
publications
dokumento na
of
pinagbasihan ng
non-governmental
trial chamber
organizations,
sa kanilang
and a
desisyon na
book
may posibilidad na
which, in
natakas
its
si
view,
Tatay Digong.
indicated that Mr. Duterte's inclination to interfere with investigation against him. In relation to the first document, a media article, the appeals chamber finds that it was not unreasonable for the pretrial chamber to rely on this document for its finding.
Ang sabi ng ngayon,
Whilst this
ang basehan
document
lang
does
ay
not
media report.
mention Mr. Duterte himself as being directly involved in briefing individuals, it does not refer to statements of close, it does refer to statements of close associates, including one where individuals would have been told to remain loyal. In any event, the appeals chamber observes that Mr. Duterte is but one of the factors that the pretrial chamber took into account to support its conclusions on Mr. Duterte's inclination to interfere with investigations against him.
Well, sabi nga po ng hukuman, isa lang yan sa basihan
documents,
ng
a book, 2 publications
pretrial
of
chamber sa
non-governmental
kanilang conclusion na
organizations,
po pwedeng
and a
pakialaman ni
press
Tatay
article.
Digong investigasyon at
The
ang
appeals
prosecution.
chamber recalls that there does not exist in the applicable law of this court any impediment to use of newspapers, articles, or other public or open sources for the purposes of assessing the requirement under Article 58(1)
Nako,
of the statute.
malungkot po ito dahil sa
Nor
Pilipinas,
is
ang mga
there
news
any
reports
requirement
natin ay
that such
hearsay.
material
Pero ito ay
be
tinatanggap
corroborated.
ng hukuman. No?
Noting this,
Lalong-lalo na
the
ditong
appeals chamber
issue ng
considers that it is possible
panandaliang
to
kalayaan.
discern how the pretrial chamber reached its conclusion of Mr. Duterte's alleged involvement in the threatening and taking of retaliatory
Malungkot po ito
actions
na pati
against
mga
individuals
periodiko, mga
opposed
news
to him.
reports, pwede nilang gawing ebidensya.
In any
Dahil tayo po
event,
sa Pilipinas, mas stricto po
the
tayo.
appeals chamber
Hearsay
observes
po sa Pilipinas
that this
ang
is
mga
only one of the
news reports.
factors that the pretrial
Although
chamber
sinasabi ngayon ng
took
hukuman,
into
isa lang
account
to doon sa
to
mga
support its
pwedeng
conclusion
gawing batayan.
on Mr. Duterte's inclination to interfere with investigations against him, and more generally, on the risk of Mr. Duterte obstructing or endangering the investigations or the court proceedings.
Nako, malungkot po yan. Kasi
For these reasons, the appeals
malungkot po
chamber
yan dahil lang
considers that the defense has failed to demonstrate an
pamahaya,
error
mga
in the pretrial
mga
chamber's assessment
dyaryo
and
ay hindi po
weighing
sapat
of
na
evidence
ebidensya.
before it in the context of its consideration of the risk under Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 2 of the statute. In relation to the pretrial chamber's reliance on the notion of a network of supporters, the appeals chamber recalls that it has considered that it is sufficient for a chamber to establish that it is possible that a suspect had the necessary assets to abscond.
Naku,
And
malungkot
that
po ito.
there is a risk
Dahil
that a
sinasabi ng
suspect
hukuman
has the
na yung mga
financial means
ebidensya
to
na hindi
abscond
tatanggapin ng
on the
hukumang
basis
Pilipinas
of
ay
complete
gagamitin ng
evidence.
hukuman dun sa
The appeals
assessment
chamber
kung pwede
has
nga bang
also
tumakas.
held
No?
that the existence of a supportive network and financial means may be relevant to determining whether there is a risk that a person may evade justice or interfere with the investigation, and that access to the international contacts could provide the means to enable a suspect to abscond.
Naku,
Whether or
sinasabi
not
naman po ngayon
there was
na
evidence
yung
that the
access sa mga
suspect would
resources para
actually
makatakas,
utilize
ayan daw ay
such
kinukonsidera ng hukuman dun sa desisyon para sa interim
In the
release.
June
Na malungkot,
decision,
no? Kasi sa Pilipinas, hindi
in
po natin niya
determining
ikokonsidera.
whether Mr.
Sa Pilipinas,
Duterte
ang issue lang natin talaga kung
posed
malakas
a
ba yung
flight
ebidensya o
risk
hindi.
under
At
Article 58(1)b,
obligasyon ng
subparagraph 1 of the statute, the
prosekusyon na ipakita
pretrial
talaga
chamber
na
considered
malakas ang
that he
ebidensya, no?
appears to have the necessary political contacts
Nako, ang
as
sinasabi
well
po ngayon
as to
meron daw
benefit from a network of
political
support
na
within
impluwensya
the Philippines.
ang ating presidente para
The appeals
gamitin
chamber
para
considers that contrary to the defense's argument, the pretrial chamber specifically outlined why it found that there existed a network of supporters in relation to Mr. Duterte, and for which reason this supported its conclusion that the risk under Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 1
Nako,
of the
hindi ko po
statute
gusto
was
ang
established.
takbo ng desisyon, no? Dahil
In the view of
ito
the
po ay
appeals
pangalawang
chamber,
basihan
the
na
manner
ng
in which
ating
the pretrial chamber undertook
ng
this
hukuman kung
assessment
bakit
was
sinusustain nila
case-specific,
yung naging desisyon ng
as it
pretrial
took into
chamber, no?
account the specific circumstances of Mr. Duterte, amongst others, his position as former president of the Philippines and his recent re-election as mayor of Davao City in May 2025. It follows that the defense has failed to demonstrate that the pretrial chamber committed an error
Good morning,
in
attorney.
assessing and considering Mr. Duterte's network of supporters
Oo,
for the purpose of its
okay lang tayo, ha?
examination of the risk under Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 1.
Pero wala namang live, bakit kaya?
Further, under the first ground of appeal, the defense argues that the pretrial chamber's alleged reliance on irrelevant considerations led to errors of law and fact. Regarding the arguments on the assessment of evidence and in particular,
Sa
the
akin,
defense's contention that a number of factors relied on by the pretrial chamber were irrelevant,
yung mga suspect hour,
the appeals chamber notes that when assessing the risk under Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 1 of the statute, the
mukhang hindi ko po
pretrial
gusto
chamber
ang mga
relied on
binabasang
several
desisyon
factors
ng
in support
maestrado.
of its finding
Dalawang
that
beses na
such
po
risks
na-sustain
existed.
yung pretrial chamber dito
It
sa
relied
binabasang
on a
desisyon.
statement
No?
by Mr. Duterte, statements by others, Mr. Duterte's position as a former president of the Philippines and his recent re-election as mayor of Davao City, as well as the matter of the gravity of the alleged crimes and concomitant sentence in case of conviction. The appeals chamber observes that the defense does not explain why, in its view, these factors were irrelevant to the pretrial chamber's assessment. Without more, the defense has failed to substantiate that the pretrial chamber's reasoning and assessment were unreasonable.
Naku, pangatlong basihan na po ito na sinusustene ng appeals chamber ang finding ng
In
pretrial
the same
chamber.
vein,
Mukhang hindi po
the
magandang
defense
takbo
fails
na
to
pagbabasa nitong
demonstrate
decision
that the
nito
pretrial chamber's
pagdating sa
reliance
pagdaliang
on Mr.
kalayaan ni Tatay
Duterte's
Digong.
re-election as mayor of Davao City in its assessment of the risks under Article 58(1)b, subparagraph 3 of the statute was unreasonable. Moreover, with regard to the defense's contention that the pretrial chamber selectively cited facts and ignored others in the same items of evidence, the appeals chamber considers that the defense has failed to demonstrate how the fact that the pretrial chamber accorded weight to the statement from Mr. Duterte that it cited should result in the pretrial chamber's ignoring or attaching no weight other statements. Regarding gravity and concomitant sentences in case of conviction, it is recalled that the appeals chamber has consistently held that these
binibigyan po
factors
ng
are relevant
weight yung
considerations
mga salita
in
na
assessing the
binigkas
risk
daw ni Tatay
under
Digong.
Article
Hindi po maganda ang takbo
58(1)b,
nitong pagbasang ito.
subparagraph 1 of the statute.
Hindi po pinakikinggan
these
ng
are factors that may
appeals
increase
chamber
an incentive
yung mga
of a person
argumento
to
na
abscond.
linabas ng mga abogado ni Tatay Digong.
In the present instance, the gravity of the alleged crimes and the possibility of a lengthy sentence was but one of the factors the pretrial chamber took into account in its assessment of risks under Article 58(1)(b), subparagraph 1 and 2 of the statute. And it looked at the specific allegations against Mr. Duterte. It follows that the defense has failed to demonstrate an error. Regarding the question of whether the pretrial chamber erred in fact by failing to give appropriate weight to relevant facts, specifically Mr.
Hindi na naman nila
Duterte's
tinanggap
health
yung isang argumento
condition
na naman ng
and
depensa,
its
no?
mitigating effect on
Na
the risk
yung
factors
gravity
set out
ng
in Article 58(1)(b) of the statute
kaso
as
ay isang
argued
dahilan
by the
na po
defense.
pwede ikonsidera kung
The
dapat
appeals
mabigyan
chamber
ng
records
panandaliang kalayaan si
that there
Tatay
is
Digong.
no provision in the court's legal texts that specifically provides for the interim or conditional release of a detained person on health grounds. Nevertheless, the appeals chamber has indicated that the medical condition of a detained person may have an effect on the risks under Article 58(1)(b) of the statute and may be a reason for a pretrial chamber to grant interim release.
Ito naman po yung
if
medical conditions.
The appeals chamber considers that such a determination is necessarily case-specific. Contrary to the defense's assertion, nowhere did the pretrial chamber suggest that it was precluded from assessing the information about Mr. Duterte's
sinasabi
health
nila yung medical
within the
condition is
context
case-specific, no?
its assessment under
Kasi ito
Article
nga yung, bakit hindi
60.2
nila
of
kinonsidera
the
yung
statute.
physical na condition at yung mga
Rather,
karamdaman ni
it
Tatay
noted
Digong doon sa
the
desisyon na
reports
para
placed
bigyan
before it
panandaliang
and considered
kalayaan.
that they were unable to affect its finding on risks under Article 58(1)(b). The defense has failed to show that the pretrial chamber's approach was unreasonable. For these reasons, having rejected the defense's argument under this ground of appeal, the first ground of appeal is rejected.
Nako, hindi na naman tinanggap ng appellate tribunal na hindi na konsidera ng pretrial chamber yung karamdaman at mga sakit ni Tatay Digong sa desisyon sa panandaliang kalayaan.
Under this ground, the defense challenges the pretrial chamber's assessment of the proposed conditions of release and state guarantees. The defense argues
yun naman yung unang ground pa namin. Meron pa naman pangalawang ground.
Failing to address the proposed conditions of release and state warranties. The appeals chamber is of the view that the pretrial chamber did not appear to criticize a lack of detail in the proposed conditions, but rather in the details as how the state which accepted to receive Mr. Duterte would implement the necessary conditions. The pretrial chamber did not consider release with conditions as required, but found that in the circumstances before it, the risks it had identified could not be mitigated.
Ang pinag-uusapan po ngayon, yung mga kondisyones kung siya'y bibigyan ng panandilang kalayaan.
Moreover, the appeals chamber is of the view that the pretrial chamber was not obliged, as suggested by the defense, to seek further observations from the concerned state, because it did not envisage the possibility of release given the risks it found Mr. Duterte presents under Article 58(1)(b) of the statute. For these reasons, the appeals chamber finds that the defense has failed to identify an error by the pretrial chamber when addressing the proposed conditions of release and state warrant. In relation to the question of whether the
Nako,
pretrial chamber
hindi
erred
naman
in law
tinanggap
by
na
failing to
appellate
consider
chamber
if the
yung
proposed state warranties
argumento
could
ng
mitigate
ni Tatay
the
Digong
risks under
na sapat
Article
naman yung mga
58,
kondisyones
1B
na
of the statute.
inimpose
The
kung
appeals
siya'y
chamber
mabibigyan
finds
ng
that this does not
interim release.
appear
No?
from the impugned decision that the pretrial chamber would have required an elimination of risks, as argued by the defense. Instead, the impugned decision specifically states that the pretrial chamber did not consider the suggested conditions to sufficiently mitigate the identified risks. It is also apparent from the factors brought forward by the pretrial chamber when examining the implementation of conditions that it did consider. Finally, the appeals chamber considers irrelevant to which conditions the prosecutor agreed when discussing potential release of the suspect to the host state. What matters are not conditions that may, in principle, be possible in case of a release to a state different to the one proposed by the defense. Rather, what is of consequence for the pretrial chamber's assessment are the conditions and warranties proffered in relation to a release to the state party concerned. For these reasons, the appeals chamber is of the view that the defense failed to substantiate the pretrial chamber's conclusions were unreasonable. Regarding the defense's contention that the pretrial chamber erred in fact and law by taking into account
sa pangalawang
irrelevant
argumento po, ang
considerations
sabi
in
ng
respect
hukuman
to the state warranties,
hindi na naman
the appeals chamber
napakita ng
considers
depensa
that
na
the
sapat yung
chamber's
mga kondisyones na
mainly related
pinagkasunduan
to the
sa isang possible
implementation
home
and
state
enforcement
na
of the
maiwasan yung
proposed
iniiwasan nga
conditions.
na pagtakas. No? So,
It
sa mga
considered the
bagong
practical
kakapanood pa
implications
lang,
of
dalawang
insurance
argumento na
adherence
po ang
to the
na-discuss ng
proposed preferred
hukuman.
conditions
Yung una
in
nga
a situation
yung
such as the one at
hindi
hand.
na siya po pwedeng gumawa
It did
ng kahit
so
ano pa bang krimen
against the
at
backdrop of
hindi
having found
makakatakas na
that all the three
sinabi ng
risks
hukuman na
under
tama daw
Article
naging
58
desisyon ng
of the statute
pre-trial chamber
were
na binase
established.
nila na yung kapangyarihan na ma-influensyahan
It
pa
was
ang
reasonable for the
prosecution
pretrial chamber
ay
to examine
base
how,
sa mga
in
ebidensya,
practice,
5 ebidensya
the
kasama na
suggested
ang mga
conditions
media
would
reports.
be
No?
implemented.
At ngayon, ito yung
The
pangalawa
defense
na
has failed to show an
sinabi
error
ng
in
hukuman,
this
yung
assessment.
sinasabi ng depensa na sapat naman yung mga kondisyones na
The
pinag-agrihan sa
appeals
possible
chamber
sa home state
considers that the
para
defense has
masiguro na hindi siya
failed to show
makakatakas. Ang sabi ng
how
hukuman,
the pretrial
sa
chamber
tingin nila,
erred in its
wala raw
assessment
pagkakamali ang
of
pre-trial
the
chamber
proposed
na hindi
conditions
sapat
of
yung mga
release
kondisyones na
and
yon.
state warranties. For the foregoing reasons, the second ground of appeal is rejected. Third ground of appeal. Regarding the third ground of appeal, within which the defense argues that the pretrial chamber erred in not considering humanitarian grounds, either as independent
dalawa na po ang
consideration
na-reject
or
sa basihan
mitigating
ng pag-aapilan
factor
ni
in
Tatay Digong.
assessing interim
Ito na po yung
release,
pangatlo.
the appeals chamber considers that the pretrial chamber did not refuse to address the question of interim release on humanitarian grounds. Rather, it gave the reasons for which, in its view, the humanitarian grounds advanced by the defense were not sufficiently set out in the case at hand. Further, the appeals chamber recalls that the medical condition of a detained person
Ito na yung
may be
tingin
a
ko,
reason for a chamber to grant
pinaka-importante,
interim release
yung pinakamataong basihan na
and
matanda,
that the chamber
sakit,
enjoys
natutumba
discretion
na,
when
limot-limot. No?
deciding on conditional release. The appeals
Sabi naman ng
chamber
hukuman,
considers
di raw
that it is
sapat
not apparent
yung mga
from the
bagay
pretrial
na
chamber's
binanggit
assessment
para
that it
maging
was
makatao
unreasonable.
yung pagiging
The
pagkakaroon ng
pretrial chamber
desisyon
found
na bigyan siya ng
the
panandaliang
existence of
kalayaan.
risks under Article 58(1)(b of the statute, which were not mitigated by Mr. Duterte's purported condition, and also could not be mitigated by any condition imposed upon release. The pretrial chamber then proceeded to analyze whether humanitarian grounds, as argued by the defense, could justify release on conditions. The appeals chamber thus considers that the pretrial chamber assessed relevant information before it in light of the arguments made by the defense and reached its conclusion.
Medyo nanenervyos
on
po ako
this
dito
basis.
dahil sa tingin ko ito yung pinaka-importanteng
Follows
basehan
that the
yung
defense
pagiging
has failed
makatao
to
na lang.
demonstrate that the pretrial
So
chamber's
hindi muna po ako
assessment
mag-a-annotate at gusto
was
ko mapakinggan talaga
unreasonable.
kung anong sinasabi.
Accordingly, the appeals chamber finds that the defense has failed to show that the pretrial chamber erred in its assessment. For these reasons, the third ground of appeal is rejected. Finally, the appeals chamber notes that the pretrial chamber reached its conclusions in relation to the risks enumerated
Nako,
in Article
tinanggi rin po
58(1)(b)
nila
of the
na makatao yung
of a
pagbibigay ng
comprehensive
interim
assessment
release
of
kita
the
Tatay Digong.
information before
So,
it.
tinanggi rin nila yung pangatlong basihan
In the
ng
present
pag-appeal ng Tatay Digong.
Having rejected the
3 out of 4 na po
appeal
ang
presented by the
nare-reject
defense
ng
in the
appeals chamber doon sa mga basihan
appeals
kung bakit
chambers
dapat mabigyan ng
unanimously
panandaliang kalayaan si
confirms
Tatay Digong.
the impugned decision. This brings us to the end of the summary of the appeals chamber's judgment. The judgment will be notified to the parties and participants after the hearing. Translations of the summary will also be available in due course. I would
Ayan
like
na
to
po,
thank the court
unanimously
reporters,
na-affirm po ang
interpreters,
desisyon
another
ng
registered
pre-trial
staff
chamber
for the
na
valuable
nagbabasura
assistance today
sa panandaliang
in holding this
kalayaan ni
hearing.
Tatay Digong. Malungkot
hearing
po
is
ang araw na
adjourned.
ito sa tingin po natin.
All rise.
Natunayan ng
Kuya
ICC na hindi talaga makapagbibigay ng katarungan kay Tatay Digong ang hukuman ng ICC. Gaya ng aking sinasabi, ito po ay desisyon na nakabase sa politika. Sa totoo lang po, nung huling Assembly of State Parties sa ICC, tumayo ang ambasador ng Japan, ang pinakamalaking donor ng ICC, at nagreklamo na bagamat sila ay pinakamalaking donor dito sa ICC, hindi nila gusto na ang mga nagiging desisyon ng ICC ay puro akwital.